Good afternoon, everyone, or late afternoon, everyone. Welcome once again to Walk the Talk Sports here at Encore at Leisure Village West. The best, and I mean the best, sports talk show east of the city of brotherly love. I used to do it reversed, and south of the Big Apple. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about between baseball, football, the college playoffs, the World Cup. I even have some tennis for the tennis fans out there. Alex, how you doing, buddy?
You know, I'm good. It's now Thursday, and I'm just recovered from Monday. You know, Monday, I don't know if you know this, we had a bocce party.
A whiteout party that we were all in white, and today we're in red.
So, trying to recover, and but I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. So, where we want to start?
Okay, some Yankee fans in the audience. The free agency period, the GM meetings are done in San Diego, Alex's backyard. Of course, the big story was who is going to sign Aaron Judge. Well, as we said on this program a few weeks ago, Aaron Judge is a Yankee, stayed a Yankee for, I think, 9 years for $360 million. Woo! But, hey, look, he's a Yankee. He's going to be the next captain. We've said that before also. So congratulations to him, to the Yankees, and to all the Yankee fans. They can now get off the ledge, off the GW Bridge. The suicide watch is done. So, that's it. As far as we'll get to the West Coast feed. I know, Alex, you're tempted, but as far as my team, the New York Mets, we knew Jacob deGrom was going to skip camp. We originally said he was going to go to Texas, and he sure did. But losing one Cy Young Award winner, we more or less purchased another Cy Young Award winner. Last year's Cy Young Award winner in Justin Verlander. I mean, really, this guy's a super. Go ahead.
But isn't that he's probably close to the age of most of the people here in the village. So how's that going to do for you?
I'm going to tell you something. Do you know who he's married to?
I don't.
Guys, audience?
No.
Kate Hudson. Oh. So if somebody can keep somebody young, guess who, Alex? Guess who? But they made some other moves. I mean, as far as picking up I guess we're still waiting for them to pick up some hitting. But then again, they picked up a left-handed, boy, those lights are bright. They picked up a left-handed pitcher. Let's see, Jose Quintana, he pitched for the Cardinals last year. They signed him to a 2-year deal for $26 million. Also, they picked up a left-handed pitcher from the Tampa Devil Rays. I think his name is Brooks Riley. And in exchange, they didn't, as far as pay any money, they made a trade more or less, and they gave up a prospect, Keyshawn Askew. I think he was a right-handed pitcher. So, I mean, that's it so far for the Mets. But I think for you Philly fans out there, that's they made a deal. Trey Turner, man, that's the guy I wanted because he's a ball player that can beat you many ways. Base running, defense, offense, and he's a headsy ball player. I wish the Mets would have received him, but I think the Phillies, they had the steal. I mean, between him and Judge, those were the two guys. Yep, Alex? The West Coast. Oh, wait, let me just finish. There was a third team, for you Yankee fans out there, there was a third team in the fray involved in the Judge.
That's right.
And I couldn't believe it when I found out, and I couldn't wait to tell Alex. It was the San Diego Padres.
Oh, I knew it was. Let me tell you about the excitement in San Diego. I don't care if we didn't get him or not. You know, but let me tell you, the excitement. First of all, the Padres had that shot at Trey Turner. Offered him more money than the Phillies.
Yes, they did.
But I told Rob the other night, you know why he went to the Phillies? Because his wife is an East Coast gal. She's from Jersey, I believe. So the Phillies were more appealing, even though the Padres' money in the West Coast, Southern California living, he turned it down. So
Yeah, they offered him a lot more money.
they
too.
did. And then you know, I was excited. I think, and I was watching a program this morning. I think there was a lot of Padre fans, a lot of Southern California fans really had no clue that Judge, that was a last-second trip to the West Coast. Obviously, they knew he was going to visit the Giants, but we really had no clue he was going to visit the Padres. And so he visited the Padres. The Padres offered him $400 million for 10 years.
What?
And then he flew home and took the 360 for the Yankees. Well, it's okay.
$400 million for 10 years?
$400 million for 10 years. The Padres
You know,
offered him.
and John Calderon, you're out there as a Met fan. I just can't understand this. When you talk teams paying $400 million over 10 years, and the Yankees can do it, the Dodgers can do it, the Padres can do it, the Phillies can do it, but when the Mets do it, it's the Steve Cohen tax. The Mets are going way over. Why is that? We only won 2 world championships. Why do people look for us, and you're the guys that are spending through the roof? Yes, we have the owner, but still, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Nothing is said. And you know the story, what happened with one of the reporters from the New York Post. He let out a story that Judge was going to the Giants. I mean, they said that the office, the administrative office, the players that were talking about Judge is coming to the Giants, and what happens? He had the story wrong. And and you know what? On a serious note, that is what's wrong with today's media. They rather be first with the story instead of getting the story right. And that's, you know what? That's not right. It's wrong. Egg on his face, and deservingly so.
But let's finish the Padres story, okay? So we missed on Turner, we missed on Judge. It's fine. It's fine. So then, today, they finally got their man. So San Diego has agreed to, at an 11-year, save a little money by not taking Judge, $280 million for Alexander Bogaerts.
Good ball player.
Okay?
Good ball player.
So Rob, I typed this up today, and I just want you to see this. You can try to change my mind on it. And I'm going to show it to the camera. But the best 1, 2, 3, and 4 spots in Major League Baseball. Tatis, Bogaerts, Soto, Machado. Holy cow.
There's a lot of teams that come close to that lineup, but I won't say.
It's okay. You know why? Because I see the other Mets guy in the stands here. The Padres are exciting right now. They're spending money. So they get Bogaerts. I promise you, and I was waiting, I was hoping I would read something before today's show. I can promise you they're going to go after a pitcher. And I forget now which pitcher I heard they were
Rendon, not
looking
Rendon. Well, the Chinese guy that the Mets are looking at coming abroad here.
I think he's going to go to the Mets. Oh. But anyways, you know, yeah, we got to get some pitching going on.
But I'm going to tell you, Alex, the team that's been quiet is who? The 2 teams that have been quiet are the Braves and the Dodgers. Those 2 teams. Yeah, but I don't know.
But
let me ask you a question.
But all the key players are they're
Why didn't they go
going.
after? I think Correa is a better. He's a better ball player than Bogart, don't you think?
I don't know. I think the Padres got the right guy. And they're gonna, you know what? They're gonna move Tatis to the outfield. Matter of fact, hold on.
No, he is a good ball player.
Here's your lineup: right field, Tatis; left field, Soto; third base, Machado; Alexander at shortstop; Cronenworth at first base; Kim at second; Nola at catcher; center field, Trent Grissom; and a DH to be determined. At Rob.
I'm not saying anything. I know that's a good lineup. It's a good lineup.
Just letting you know.
Stay healthy. That's a good lineup. It is.
So there we go.
It is. But like I said, the Dodgers and the Braves have been very, very quiet. So do not wake the sleeping dog, however you want to say it. But I'm sure before it's all said and done, they'll step into the
as well as the Giants. And I think the Giants are looking for a shortstop as well. There's a couple of shortstops out there that they're looking for. There's 2, I think.
But I find it, to say no to $400 million for 10 years,
Hey, I was excited. I was excited that he.
It's just the Yankees.
I was excited that he visited San Diego. I was excited he visited San Diego. So that's all I got on baseball.
Baseball, okay.
That's all I got.
So now, before we get into the World Cup soccer, which is going on and it's exciting, we're going to get into some football. For you Eagle fans out there, not many, but whoever out there, the Eagles are 11-1. They're playing the Giants this Sunday at home. Are they playing at MetLife? Yes, they are, because the Jets are on the road. Yes, they are. Okay. And they're, like I said, 11-1. They're the best team in the NFC. They really are. I mean, the Giants are 7-4. The Cowboys are there. It's the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants. Now, I'm going to say something to the Giant fans. That tie last week against the Lions may come back to haunt them because it's so tight as far as the playoffs. A lot of teams are in that 7-4, 8-5 range. That tie could really hurt them. And as far as the Jets, I mean, you know what? They're playing good football. Wright is the right quarterback. They got a tough game up in Buffalo. But after that, they got the Lions and the Jaguars at home. But then they wind up in Miami, and I think they play Seattle. To me, it's going to be a tough go for the Jets. I don't see them making the playoffs. They may get in, but it's going to be very, very tight, I think. And, of course, now, Alex, I'll turn him over to his great San Diego Chargers and the West Coast feed. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think out of the AFC, I think the Jets have a better chance than you think.
Yeah, but just one game, though. But they got a tough schedule.
Yeah.
They do.
But the Chargers, you know, I don't have a lot to say. You know, we got, like injuries. You know, Herbert, I think after he got a shot in the ribs there, he's just not playing like the Herbert of the last year of his rookie year. But, I mean, they'll bounce back. I think, you know, at the beginning of the season, I thought that this could be it. You know, they bucked up the defense, which has sort of failed. Everybody's sort of gotten hurt. I mean, I have Edwin James now, I think is going to be hurt this week. And it's just a struggle to watch them every week. I think that they pretty much have... I mean, we'll see how it ends. Between them, you know, of course, the other team that I follow a lot because Priscilla and I both lived in Arizona for 20-some years. We follow the Cardinals. Another disappointment. I think this week they'll probably be mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Just not a happy team. I'm a Cardinal fan. I don't know that I was really happy with the Kyler Murray deal. I just, you know, for me, 5 years, $230 million for a quarterback that can't see over the heads of his linemen.
Like Zach Wilson.
You know, he really...
know the feeling.
There was a big thing this last week. He got into it with Patrick Peterson. They used to be teammates. Patrick Peterson, defensive back for the Cardinals, a stud. I think on one of his talk shows, he really just talked about how Kyler Murray is just about Kyler Murray. He's not a team player. And I can see that. You know, if you guys ever watch the Cardinals, you'll see him on the sidelines. He's always just sitting on with himself at the end of the bench. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Cardinals at the end of this year. Either the coaches, obviously, they paid him a big contract. But I can see.
See, I think, Alex, honestly, I think that's where the problem lies. Is ever since the story came out sometime last year that he was going to go to Oklahoma, big time college, that team hasn't been the same. You know, does he want to stay? Does the coach want to stay and see this through? I don't think so. And I think what they should do first is make a coaching change. They should, because I don't think they're playing for this guy, and I don't think he wants to be there that long. I feel that way, but like I said, we're outsiders looking in, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have a whole lot left to say. I mean, the NFL is pretty exciting right now. You know, obviously with the division leaders, Buffalo Bills. I mean, AFC North, it's pretty tight with the Ravens and the Bengals at 8-4. But then again, the Ravens obviously
they play each. But now the Ravens are hurt because Jackson's out. Yeah, he's out. He's out.
So
that's true.
Yeah. So, but you know, we're looking for it's going to be an awesome end of the season here, and we'll see what happens with the NFL.
All right, I'm going to just touch up before we get into the college aspects. Briefly, hockey. Devils, believe it or not, Devils are 21-4 in first place in the Metro Division. For John Culver, who's not here, his Islanders are in the wild card spot, so is the Rangers. Flyers are outside looking in, they're 9-12. That is hockey. Now, basketball. Okay, where do I have my basketball? Here we go. All right, I think the Knicks, here we go. In first place, I'm just going to run down the divisions, and I'll have a nice thing to say about the Phoenix Suns. Celtics are in first place, 21-5. Nets are in second, 14-12. And then between the Raptors, Toronto, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the New York Knicks, it's 13-12, 12-12, and 10-13. So the Knicks are in last place. But look, in hockey and in basketball, pro hockey and basketball, their season, in my opinion, really doesn't get going until late December, January. Once the calendar changes, the new year, that's when the push starts coming. Teams got their rosters set, they start moving. And, you know, everybody's bunched up. Yes, the Devils are playing well the first half of the season, so after that, we'll see what goes. But I have to give them credit. They're the top dog in the league right now. And in basketball, before we leave the sport, your Phoenix Suns are in first place, man.
Pacific Conference.
Yes, they are.
They got slaughtered by the Celtics last night, but it's all right.
It's okay.
It's all right.
And guess who's in last place in that division? The great LeBron James and the Lakers. Last place. Woo! So that covers basketball, pro basketball, and hockey. Alex, you want to cover some college?
College football. Let's talk about it. We had thought at the beginning of the season here that the 12-team playoff bracket was going to kick off, but it actually doesn't start till 2024. 2023. Well, 24. Well, I guess the playoffs will start in January, so it'd be 2024. It's going to start next year. Next year it starts, the 12-team bracket.
You're right, because they would have talked about it a lot more. Yeah,
right.
But
So,
for some reason it's confusing.
But this year, we'll talk about, obviously the year's over. I'm going to talk about your college football playoff semifinals. Both games on December 31st. You've got the Fiesta Bowl with number 2 Michigan playing number 3 TCU.
That's a good game.
You have also on December 31st in the Peach Bowl, you have number 1 Georgia playing number 4 Ohio State.
That's right.
So that's all right. Ohio State's done. And then January 9th, your national championship will be played at none other than SoFi Stadium. You know who plays there?
Yeah, your Chargers and my Raiders play there tonight against the Rams.
All right. Okay. So January 9th will be your national championship in California at SoFi Stadium. I'll give you a couple notable bowls. I won't list all of them because I was telling Rob last night, I go, come on, I'm not going to name like the Cheez-It Bowl and stuff. They've gotten so crazy on all these bowls. But I will tell you, Orange Bowl, Tennessee versus Clemson. Sugar Bowl, Alabama, Kansas State. Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for, the Cotton Bowl.
Tulane, USC.
Okay.
Rose Bowl, Penn State, Utah. Watch out for Utah.
The Utes. The Utah Utes.
Watch out for the Utes.
The Utes.
They're playing well.
You know what movie that's from? The Utes. My cousin Vinny.
So,
that's it.
Yeah, there you go. So anyways, that's the lowdown on the bowl games. Like I said, the 12-team bracket starts, I actually have here 2024, which is probably next season.
All right, so that's college football. I have just local news on the college basketball scene, and once again, they haven't started the Seton Hall, St. John's, UConn, Villanova, Rutgers. They haven't played their conferences yet, and that will start within 2 or 3 weeks. So that's when that ball starts to roll also. But right now, Seton Hall's sitting at 5-4. St. John's is 9-1. UConn is 10-0. Villanova is they're going through some adjustments. The great Wildcats, they're 4-5, and that's the Big East. Now the Big Ten, where Rutgers is 6-2. Penn State is 6-3. Michigan is 5-3. Ohio State is 6-2. And I think tonight Rutgers plays Ohio State in basketball, so that should be a good matchup. And let me not forget, for you Monmouth University fans, they are having a tough year. They used to be in the MAC division, and now they're in the Colonial division, and they are sitting at 1-8, which is hard to believe. I thought they had a better team than that. And that is college basketball. Okay. Now, the big story the past week for all you international fans and everything, the World Cup. USA got into the knockout round. They tied Wales, they tied England, but then they had to beat Iran, which they did, and that was a very exciting game, a 1-0 game. So they beat Iran to get into the knockout round, and then they lost to the Netherlands 3-1. Now, as a soccer fan, and my parents were born in, they were from Italy, and they loved the game of soccer or football, however you want to call it. As you progress into the tournament, especially the World Cup, the teams you're going to play, number one, know how to score goals, like countries like France, Netherlands, Spain, Germany, England, Italy, which didn't make the World Cup this year, and they know how to protect leads. And that's the thing I think the USA team needs to really get better at is they can defend, but they need to score more goals. They need to be more of a threat in the offensive zone. That's where I think that game has to have a step up in to really compete on the world stage. But all in all, they had a good tournament. Congratulations to them, and we see what they do in the next 4 years when the World Cup comes back into the fold. All right. Anything else as far as you want to add anything to the World Cup? Oh, let me just give you the schedule. Oh, before I forget. All right. Now, I think tomorrow Croatia plays. Now this is the quarterfinals. Croatia plays Brazil. Netherlands plays Argentina. Now I'm just going to say the favorites to make it to the World Cup in the championship game is Brazil and Argentina. But I wouldn't count France out. And for some reason, for my good friend Diane, I wouldn't count England out. But apparently they say the odds are with Brazil and Argentina to make it to the finals. And so those two games are tomorrow. Then Saturday you got Morocco versus Portugal, and then you have England versus France. That's the game. And before I get off the World Cup, Germany got eliminated and Spain got eliminated. Major upsets. So you never know what can happen. A team gets up 1-0. Some players get hurt. They get the yellow card. They get the red card, means you're thrown out of the game. Things like that happen, especially when you reach that level of competition. It's all for nothing. I mean, they go for it, and like they say, they go for the gold. And the finals of the World Cup will be, I think, on December 18th. And they think that's a Sunday. So, I mean, it's a little weird that it's this time of year because it's in Saudi Arabia, and I guess it's too hot during the summer months. That's why they had to do it this time of year. But honestly, I'm enjoying it because it's between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Sports fan, I think that's great. And that's it on the World Cup.
The World Cup, real quick. I never realized these fans, they're nuts.
Oh.
And I'm speaking about our friend Diane.
Oh.
She was over at the house the other day, and we were there was a group of us there. We were going through some food from the party or something. And she was there, and that lady, I went over to her house a couple days ago, and she had the games on, and God forbid I interrupted her, but I did, so she paused it, and then she came over and she was recording England's game, and we're sitting there talking, and who but loose lips Kevin Burns, he starts to tell her the outcome of the game. She almost lost her mind in my kitchen.
Oh my
but
God.
Luckily he saved. He didn't tell her the ending.
Right.
And but yeah, they get nuts.
You're right. I'm going to tell you. I remember my father, God rest his soul, in '86 when Italy won the World Cup. The streets were crazy in Brooklyn. Champagne was constantly 24/7. My father had the door open to his house. Anybody off the street, you want to have a drink to celebrate our World Cup? Go right ahead. But you're right, Alex. Soccer fans or football fans, whatever you want to call it, we think we're bad as far as America here. Yeah. You haven't seen anything yet until you go to Europe.
Let that be a lesson. I mean, soccer fans are nuts.
Yes.
And also, Don't ever tell a secret to loose lips, Kevin Burns. All right.
I thought I was loose lips. No, I'm only kidding.
All right.
All right. That's what. Now, all right. I'm just briefly going to touch up on golf and tennis. Golf, the rankings. I'm just going to give the rankings. The FedEx Cup, Rory McIlroy's in first. Sungjae Im is in second. Scotty Scheffler is in third. Xander Sheffield is in fourth. And Max Homer is in fifth place. That's the FedEx. I'm just going to give you the money line now. They've got players that are ranked up there as far as how much money they are making on the tour. First place is Scotty Scheffler. Second is Cameron Smith. Third place is Will Zalatoris. I said that pretty good. And fourth place is Patrick Cantley. And fifth place is Xander Schauffele again. You know what? And it's amazing. From what I hear now, the laws. I heard this afternoon. Some players that were friends on the PGA Tour, and the players that have left to play in that other league, the LVI league, the Saudi Arabia league, they're no longer friends, because now I think some players are suing the PGA for really, not letting them go play. And I've said this all along, and this is the last thing I'm going to touch about golf. They should have a World Series, us against them. If the PGA, you're never going to match, the PGA as it stands today will never match that kind of money that comes from that side of the world, man. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So, you know what? They're going to go to court. I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but it's as it stands now, it's ruined some friendships, and that's very sad in the game of golf. It really is. And quickly, all right, just tennis. All right, tennis. I'll go quick. This is a funny note. News came out of Wimbledon today that they are relaxing the all-white clothing rule to allow ladies to wear dark-colored undershorts. Okay, isn't that great news for the ladies? I guess there was a strict or whatever, but that's it. I have more on tennis, but I'll cut it short. Alex, go.
Holy smokes! I got some really important stuff here. Okay, and in the corner of my eye, I see like the producer there telling me, "Hey, you got a minute? You got 2 minutes." Anyways, I got to talk about high school football real quick. Go. Okay, look. So we had talked about before Toms River North. I'm going to tell you that these guys. So not only are they state champions, and it's tough, and you may not understand this whole thing. In the past, they're part of Group 5, and Group 5 had the South, Central, and 2 North groups. And then as you just won that group. You were the champion of the group. So this year now they had amongst all of them a championship amongst the 5 in Group 5. Okay, now you're talking Ocean and Monmouth? Or just Ocean? I'm not sure. I mean, they probably fall, Monmouth does, in that group. But whatever's in Group 5, you have South, you have Central, and you have 2 North groups in Group 5. Anyways, North comes up, and they end up beating Passaic Tech in the championship. So that was state. 28-7. But what I want to really touch on, we talked about this the crazy stats I want to share real quick about these kids from North. And I'm going to talk about 2 players. We talked about Micah Ford, their quarterback. This was a kid that came to the high school as a running back. The quarterback got hurt at North, so he filled in. I'm just going to run down it. As a quarterback, rushed for 2,360 yards with 33 touchdowns. Threw for 1,203 yards with 17 more touchdowns. I was sort of blown away then. Then I found out he went both ways. Now the kid has 77 tackles, 4 interceptions, 1 with a return for a touchdown. He plays for Toms River? A junior quarterback for Toms River North. So he's visited by Maryland, West Virginia, Syracuse, Penn State, was named All-State First Team quarterback, Toms River North. Wow. That's okay. Wow. Let me tell you about this next kid. I can't even pronounce the first name, and I apologize. I'm probably going to butcher it. Jaheen Matthews, a sophomore lineman, 6'7", 300 pounds. Currently has 9 Division I scholarship offers. He's a sophomore. 9 Division I. Yes. So I'll list a couple. He also was a first-team All-League as a sophomore lineman, Toms River North. Tennessee, Miami, Penn State, Texas A&M, Georgia, Arizona State, and the garbage Ohio State. So, this young man is a sophomore and a lineman, ranked 6th of offensive tackles in the nation. This is Tom's River, North. And 3rd overall player in the state of New Jersey. So from, out of Tom's River North. So,
before we sign off, and this is the problem with this team. They're in your own backyard. You play in the Big Ten, a big conference, and you can't get these kids to come to play for Rutgers.
Do I have a minute? 1 minute I have, Rob, because it would be crazy not to end the show to talk about fantasy football. You're out of fantasy football. But for some of us, like in the audience, we have Sam Cobra. We know about him. He's winning everything, 10-3. He was he snowballed us. So we talked about that.
He deserved it.
But anyways, it's the last week of fantasy football, Leisure Village Fantasy Football 2023. Sam Cobra obviously is in the playoffs. I'm in the playoffs.
Bolsonova's in the playoffs.
Yep. And then it comes down to a couple other teams. You know, where we got Rebecca, Vinny, and LV Shades, Joseph Sheed, and of course Stephanie Lombardo that are fighting for those last positions for the playoffs.
Right.
So that's LVW Fantasy Football. Come join us next year. We need more teams. We had an 8-team league. We can go to 12 teams.
Yes, we can.
It's been a blast. I don't think next year we're going to invite Sam back.
No, but Alex, I have one question. Now, the loser, the last place guy, the guy with the worst record.
Yep.
What do you have a surprise for them?
I do have a surprise.
Okay,
and I have a feeling that's going to be our good friend David Peterson, Mr. Happy all the time. And when I present him with his biggest loser, it's going to be the most incredible gift ever. So that's all.
All right, guys. Once again, audience, love you guys for coming, spending some time with us. Alex, great job once again. Bill, Mike, here you are. They gave us this beautiful venue once again. And please, everyone, keep it between the lines.